Hi, everybody. Here we are again. Sat in my house. Adam is 20 miles away, and we're doing this Zoom thing so we can make content for you. Normally, we'd do a Q&A sat next to each other or driving around and making it fun, but this is the best we can do, so I hope you enjoy it. A couple of weeks ago, I asked everybody to submit questions, and we kind of randomly picked like 10. Is it, Adam? How many did we pick?
I think so. Yeah, roughly. We've got a good few to get through.
Okay, cool. So let's just do it. There's no glam in this, unfortunately, but here's what we can do for glam. I don't have any glam. Never mind, no glam.
So Parser Adid585 says, "How to have a millionaire mindset? Love your videos." So I guess the question is, how would you have a millionaire mindset?
Well, first and foremost, thank you for supporting the videos. Glad you enjoy them. Millionaire mindset is an attitude, basically. It's not about money. It's not about how much money you have, how much money you can make. It's the difference between thinking positively and thinking negatively. Somebody who's successful thinks of all the great things that they can achieve. Somebody that's not thinks of all the things that can go wrong. If you can eliminate the part where you're thinking about all the things that go wrong, that's how you have a millionaire mindset.
Well, the next question is from Blackmore111. And he says, what would you say are the most common mistakes that people make when thinking about setting up a business?
That's a great question. So the biggest mistake people make, I believe, is them thinking they're going to make a ton of money overnight and that they think it's going to be relatively easy. It isn't. It takes a lot of hard work. It takes a lot of thought. I'm a strong believer anybody can do it. I mean, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to start a business, but you do have to have the right mindset. So the first thing is learn baby steps. Look at your long-term goals, look at your short-term goals, and plan accordingly. First thing is cash flow. Manage your cash flow. Businesses can be very successful, but they can go bankrupt if they don't have the correct cash flow. So by saying that, that means don't spend more than you have to, and don't spend more than your income's going to be. Otherwise, you'll find yourself upside down. Even if you know profits are coming, you're still going to pay the bills. So always maintain your cash flow.
So I have a question about that then, Michael, because a lot of people, when they start new businesses, they'll go and they'll take a bank loan to get going. Obviously, not many people have the collateral there in order to start a business. How do you weigh up what is worth taking out as a loan versus what you should save up for? You know, do you start a business now with a loan, or do you start a business a little bit further down the line, but with your own money?
That's a great question too, Adam. Obviously, if you have the money and you're not taking a loan, it makes it easier, but most people don't. So there's a middle ground there. If you have a little bit of money, try and match it from the bank. But again, per my previous answer, you've got to really look at your costs, reduce your expenditure. If you can get your costs as low as possible, that's when you can take the money that you receive either via a loan or that you saved, and you can use it to build your business. The biggest thing about a business is recognizing who your customer is, identify who your customer is, and also if you have people working with you, make sure that you treat them like they're your partner. They'll be happy, they'll do the best they can, your customer will be happy, and you'll maintain an ongoing business.
Next question is from Philip FLSN, and he says, is it worth it to take the risk to start a business?
I believe if you don't take the risk, you're taking the risk. You have to take a calculated risk. As long as it's calculated and as long as you've put a lot of thought into it and you have an end game, then it's not really a risk. You're investing in yourself. And I would much rather invest in myself than in somebody else that I have no control over. So the answer is absolutely, it's worth taking that risk. If you don't do it, you'll never end up with anything. But again, make sure you take care to analyze what's coming in the future. Don't think about the next week or the next 2 weeks or the next month, but look at it long term and break it down. Write it out on a piece of paper, get an Excel spreadsheet, write down your costs. It's all about costs. If you can survive the costs, even if you don't make everything happen that you dream of, you're still winning.
Steve-O Be Inspired says, how do you protect your business against the scaremongering doomsday cult that is the media? i.e. COVID-19 is the end of the world, stay away from everyone.
Wow. doomsday cult? I've never actually thought about that, but it's a very interesting question. How do you protect yourself? Well, maintain a positive attitude. If you believe everything that you're told, and you believe everything that you read on the internet, you're in for doomsday, because the media, they don't sell news unless they dramatize it. I'm not trying to underplay COVID-19. It's a very, very serious situation, but it's temporary, just like anything else. If you nip yourself and it hurts, guess what? It's temporary. The pain will go away. Sometimes the pain is longer than others, but you can't look at it that way. Turn the negative into a positive and think, well, they're telling me one thing, I'm going to prove them wrong, as opposed to just going with it and letting them shoot you down.
Stephen XO says, will you ever stop working / retire?
Will I ever stop working / retire? Gosh, I hope not. But the answer is probably. There'll become a point where I'm not able to do it. And I think there's a point for everybody that they're not able to do it. Working for me is not working. I enjoy working. So to me, it's having fun. I try to make it enjoyable. In fact, I do make it enjoyable. Otherwise, I wouldn't do it. But working is a mindset, like everything else. If you enjoy what you're doing, you're really not going to work. If you don't enjoy what you're doing and you're stuck in a job that's just there because you need to make an income, well, hey, guess what? Look for another job. Don't give in the one that you've already got until you find something that you really enjoy. I'm a great believer in following your passion, do something you're passionate about. And if you do that, you'll be happy.
Steve Burbridge says, do you support a certain charity? If so, which one? He actually said, do you support a curtain charities? If so, which ones? I presume you mean certain charity, but I guess also, is there a curtain charity that you're the most fond of?
Stephen, I don't have a curtain charity, but let's go with certain charity. I support lots and lots of charities. It's not something I normally talk about on social media, and I'm not really going to talk about it now either, other than to let you know I'm a great believer in giving back. I try to help those that need it. I don't want to get into details of where, who, and why, but these are certain things I'm passionate about, and if I can ever help, then that's what I do.
Kawaga Bear says, how do you balance business and friendship? Have you ever been in an awkward situation because of this?
I've found that I've made a lot of friends doing business. I try not to do business deliberately with a friend. Having said that, friends happen because you're doing business with them. Sometimes not. So I don't really look at it that way. I just get into a business situation and hopefully we're going to be friends. Everything works out and we become friends. Have I ever been in an awkward situation? I've been in many awkward situations, unfortunately, doing business with friends, because sometimes expectations are higher on either side. Somebody might feel they're not pulling their own weight. They're not putting in the same amount of work or whatever it might be. So going into any business relationship where you're working with a partner or a friend or a stranger, it doesn't make any difference. Make sure that you set your parameters and your expectations out up front so that nobody gets it wrong later down the line.
So I'm not even going to try to pronounce this.
Please do, please.
Okay, so it's Tufedzik, Luca. Luca says, what is the best advice for a startup?
Luca, that's a great question. The best advice is manage your expectations. Don't have these grandiose thoughts that you're going to be a millionaire the following day when you start a business. Manage your expectations. Set out a plan, a week, a month, 6 months, a year. And you have to make an adjustment as you go. So if you set up a plan and the first week doesn't happen the way that you anticipated, amend it, fix it, change it to what actually happened, and then change the rest of the plan accordingly. And if you continue to modify your plan to meet what's actually happening, you will become successful.
Manuel Gerardo says, how do you react to negativity and hate?
I try my best to avoid it. There is nothing worse than being surrounded by negative people. There will always be haters. There will always be the thumbs down people. I just feel bad for them because they probably have a great opportunity to change themselves and be successful. But if they allow themselves to be negative, if they think negative thoughts, if they have negative people around them, guess what? That's just a whole bunch of negative. So my recipe for fixing that is avoid that. If somebody's negative, you know what? You keep your thoughts to yourself, bye, and then move on.
TJ Codlin says, hey, what is the most important thing in running a business? Greetings from Germany, thumbs up.
Hi, hello Germany. Well, I think the most important thing is making your customers happy, because if your customers aren't happy, your clients aren't happy, you don't have a business, basically. They're not coming back. So customer service, customer service, customer service. Be honest, provide what you say you're going to do the best to give a good service. Whatever it is you're doing, and you will succeed.
Okay, this is the last question from Gabriel Payner 021. And he says, tips for a job interview.
What a great question, Gabriel. Tips for a job interview. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is, if you're going for an interview in a company, research that company, know everything about them, know exactly what they do, know the names of the executives in the company. That way, when you go and sit down with them, you can say, well, Mr. Whoever has done a fantastic job taking the business from here to here, or his role. Make sure you know everything about them. The next thing is be confident and also be honest. If you are asked a question and you don't know the answer to that question, don't make it up. Just say, you know, I don't know that. I'm looking forward to learning it. Always be positive. Same thing. Always be positive. And if you take that role and don't try and impress anybody, you'll get the job.
Well, that's it, mate. That's all the questions.
That was it?
That's it.
So I need to say goodbye.
Yeah, just the outro now.
So I hope this was helpful. I know this isn't the ideal circumstance to do any video, really. We just want to keep you going with fun videos, informative. I think until we get released back into the open spaces, we'll be doing more of these. We're just going to try and give you content that's worthy of a look. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell. Do you have anything to say, Adam?
No, that's it. You've covered it all, mate.
I didn't. In it to win it. See ya.